Hi, I'm Mike Zwingman, Agronomy R&D Manager for Central Valley Ag. This is your Monday Agronomy Update video that coincides with the Reach Out article on the CVA blog site. In this week's article, I talk a little bit about the sink-source relationship and how if you ignore any one of the 4 R's, you ignore them all. When we start talking about source, really that's determined by the timing and the placement of application we choose. So whether you're going to use anhydrous, UAN, or urea, it's really about how and when we want to apply that nitrogen more than the why. It's also driven by the rate. We start to think about these things because we can't really just put anhydrous ammonia as a top dress application. We can't use urea through your pivot, and UAN really limits our choices as well. So we really start to think about these nitrogen sources based on the rate and the timing and the placement of those applications rather than making them the first decision. They should be towards the last of the R decisions. This is important when we start to go down this journey of nitrogen efficiency and start to work on those things that are going to make you more money. When we talk about the 4 R's, 2 of the first ones I always like to talk about is placement and timing. Right here in this field, we're particularly looking at a strip till placement of a urea application. And we need to think about the agronomic principles of both placement and timing. And they are very simple. We want to put the nitrogen as close to the root zone as we can and as close as to when the plant's going to need it the most. So in corn, we think about that V8 timing is when we get to the grand use of corn. But if you're one of those people that have split nitrogen applications between timings or changed your placement by either going to strip till or wide drops, we might not see the yield increase, but that's always tied to our rate. And when we think about rate, we need to think about the sink-source relationship. When we're thinking about the sink-source relationship, there's a few things we need to keep in mind. One of those things is rate doesn't always apply to we didn't use enough nitrogen, or in that case, the rate of your nitrogen is the source. But on the other hand, we need to think about managing the sink is more important than managing the source when it comes to nitrogen management. If we think about how we manage our plant population, how we manage that plant health, how we manage our irrigation of those plants, all affects the sink because it affects the yield determining factors, number of ears, number of kernels, and test weight. When we gotta start thinking about the sink as being the way we get to the right rate when it comes to nitrogen. As always, be safe, and we'll see you next week.